Hello and welcome to the second game on Star Wars Day. It's May the 4th, so May the 4th be with all of you. And I'm running a series of 3 events today in celebration of Star Wars Day on the Gauntlet with several people who I don't think I've ever played with before. The Gauntlet is a brilliant gaming community. We have around about 200 games run each month. 200 games, that's just staggering. But they're all a great bunch of people, so if you get an opportunity, have a look at our website. We have our own zine and everything. And come and join us. It's a heck of a lot of fun. So we're here playing Scum and Villainy today, which we're actually not doing the normal setting because this is May the 4th. We're doing this in the world of Star Wars. I'm running this as a one-off game. As we're playing on the Gauntlet, we are using the Gauntlet safety tools, so we will be using the X card. And this is an open table game. So if at any point something gets too much and you need to back off, you can call for a break, or you can just say, no, this really isn't for me, and you can pull out, no questions asked. With that said, I've got 3 people, like as I said, I've never played before. I'm going to go through them left to right on my screen and just ask them to give us a little bit of details on the character they're playing. So, starting with you, Aaron, who are you playing today?
Good morning. I am playing Jingo Shasa, the Mystic, and I think these descriptions that you've written are really helpful for us, and so I'll read from that. Follow the Jedi Order delayed rather than stopped the testing of Force-sensitive children, but rather than be taken in by the Order, these children would be taken and tested by the Empire to be trained as Inquisitors. Most would not survive. I am one of the lucky ones, and I found myself in with the Rebels. And I lack full proper training, and so there's a draw to the dark side for Jingo Shasa.
Excellent. So you will have access to a lightsaber in this game.
Yeah.
So this is the question. What color?
Purple.
Purple. Brilliant. Okay. So Andy, can you tell us a little bit about your character, please?
Yeah, I'm going to be playing Count Kel Helkosh, who grew up as a noble with a very privileged life. And then the Empire came in, invaded my home, killed my mother, and basically completely ruined all of that. So I lost everything, and I've got a meaningless title now.
Excellent. But you do have a title, and you do have a proud family history. It's just you're not exactly in control of the planet that you were at one point. But all the more reason to hate the Empire. And finally, Mike, can you tell us about your character, please?
Yeah, I am Durin Thaunt. I am the classic Star Wars scoundrel, it appears. A peddler of secrets who went too far and made an enemy with the HOTH cartel, and has since joined the Alliance as sort of, I think it seems like partly to save her own neck to some extent, as well as part of the entire Republic initiative, I guess.
Excellent. Thank you. So, as with every single Star Wars film, or every proper Star Wars film, we're going to start with an opening crawl. Now, I tried to get this recorded to play on here. It doesn't quite do that. It didn't play the sounds, and there's some image artifacts there. So rather than do that, I'm going to read the opening crawl to you. So the opening crawl, he says, trying to find the page that he had it on, goes as something like this. A long time ago, in a galaxy far away. Sorry, a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars Day. Episode 2. The Ghosts of Mandalore. The destruction of Echo Base on the ice world of Hoth has left the Rebel Alliance freeing the triumphant Empire. While brave men and women flock to their banner, these heroic warriors cannot fight without the weapons to do so. On the planet Bethuun, The Alliance has discovered that the rich industrialist Kolan Nog has won a contract from the Empire to scrap a fleet of Gauntlet starfighters that have been surrendered by Governor Saxon of Mandalore. Desperate for more weapons to aid in the fight, the Rebel Alliance dispatched a cell of rebels to find the location of the freighter which carries them. So, one of the things about Scum and Villainy and all Forged in the Dark games, they don't really go very heavily into the planning. They have a function within them that allows you to flash back and actually plan things on the fly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a scene together with everyone to set up so people can develop their characters before we go to the mission itself. And we're going to have a briefing scene. So I think everyone, you have a starship, the Red Lady, and the Scarlet Lady. This is a bit of an in-joke. Every single Star Wars game or any single sci-fi game that has a ship that I run has one or two ships in it. It either has the Scarlet Lady or the Belle Dandy come up at some point. So this has been something that's been going on for around about 16 years now. So that's why the ship's named as it is today. So this being a Corellian, this is a Corellian YT-2400, like the Outrider from the Star Wars games. So just like the Millennium Falcon, though, that this ship has one of these hollow chest tables in the canteen and in the mess, and I think that's where we actually start this scene. So everyone's gathered around the actual table itself, and there's a small image projected about 6 inches tall on the table of a woman wearing white clothes with short-cut hair. You recognize her. She's one of the leaders of the Alliance. Her name is Mon Mothma. Renegade Squadron. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Excellent.
I sort of clip my hair.
Excellent. You've received your mission orders? It is imperative that we gain these starfighters. The fighters that we lost many during the escape from Hoth and the Imperial pursuit. Without these, we will lack a substantial threat to the Empire. Our ability to strike out at their targets will be reduced. We need to get these ships back in working order. As it stands, we know that this shipment will be delivered to the planet of Bethuun, the scrap world. But we are unsure the route that it will take. The industrialist who owns the company that will be scrapping these ships, Kolan Nog, we know that he plans to attend the ball run by the planetary governor. The planetary governor is an ally of ours, and we can use that to get you in to gain access to him, if you wish. Alternatively, his offices are well known, and you can go in through that way. Or if you have other plans, or have other ideas, please air them now.
I'm going to defer to the rest of the crew. It's taking in. I certainly have an approach that suits me.
I think I'm tapping my foot in the corner on the side of the hollow table, just sort of like waiting patiently just to be told what to do.
The plan sounds good to me, but what should we be worried about? This seems a little too simple.
There will be Imperial officials at the ball, so you'll need to maintain a low profile there. One of the local moth's daughter is in attendance, and we suspect that they may actually be members of Imperial intelligence poking around as well. We've recently come to an accord with the planetary governor of Bethuun, and we suspect the Empire may be nosing around to find out more about that. So a rebel presence there would be expected, if nothing else. If you were to approach the offices will have their own on-site security. This is the offices themselves are in a very much upscale part of the capital city. So you would need to be aware that there are police forces and there are private security forces on site. You would also need to have some way of actually accessing that data. It would not be enough to simply get into the office. You need to be able to extract the data from the computer systems there.
I think that we're well prepared to pull this information out of people. Let's say we go to a ball.
Very well. We will forward the details. We will forward the details to you. We've also arranged passes to the ball, but you will not be able to go in with much equipment. Everything you have, you will have to hide, unless you can sneak it in by other means. Are you ready? Is there anything you wish to do beforehand?
Sort of glance over. I glance over at Duran. I hope you've practiced your blaster waltz.
Who needs
We don't want to make a scene.
Do what I can. Do what I can.
Very well. Then may the force be with you. And her image disappears from the hollow table. And you're left sitting there on your own. As the buzz around you, you can feel the presence of the hyperspace drive pushing you towards the planet. Is there anything anyone would like to do ahead of time before we actually get to the engagement role?
I mean, I assume that we can handle this in flashback, but I do feel like we should try and sneak some supplies in, or come up with our plan for how to do that.
I was checking my moves, and I'm not sure if side dancing applies here. You may push yourself to cloud a target's mind and sway them in the face of contradictory evidence. So if we get stopped, I can just sort of like wave a hand.
It is the Jedi mind trick, yes.
Yeah. So that's one way.
What other ways can we improve our position?
Okay, do any of you have any contacts that would potentially be useful here?
I do have Aura, who is an info broker. So it may be wise to get a lay on who all is attending. Maybe some of the extraneous figures, people that we might find as being somewhat valuable.
I also have a contact in the form of Erin, who is a noble. I imagine that she can give us some introductions.
Excellent. So, which one would you like to approach first? Mike, Andy? Okay, we'll start with Mike. So, you get in touch with your information broker friend, and she sat at her desk going through various data pads and various reports, and the room is smoky. It's very much like a scene from a noir movie. You come in. There's lights coming through the blinds that cast over sunlight casts over her, but it's all really dark and murky in here. There's smoke in the air. She's got a death stick in her between her lips, and she looks up. Oh, you're back again, I see.
There's always a need for more information, you know that.
Always. How can I help? What are you after?
Headed to a ball, and you know that I'm a little out of my element in those types of situations, and looking to just get a little bit more knowledge of what I should be aware of.
Oh, so you're after fashion advice, are you?
The fashion, I think I can take care of myself, thank you. It's really, who else will be in attendance? I haven't seen the guest list, and I need to know who I should stay away from and who might be able to cut me a good deal.
Okay, so I'm sure something could be arranged.
Oh, it's always this with you, isn't it, Aura?
Everything's always a transaction. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So I'll ask before we do anything else. Why are you going to a ball? What's the line? What's the scheme?
Aura, what would I know of like what would Aura's connection to the Alliance be, do you think?
Aura is neutral. She basically
Okay.
works with the underworld. She works with she doesn't work with the Empire though.
Okay.
She basically trades information amongst the cartels, Crimson Dawn, the HOTH cartel, people like that more than anything else. It's where most of her money comes from.
I'm always frank with you, Aura. You know that. This group that I'm part of is in the need of some ships, and we think that this is the right target to go to get them.
Ships, eh? That doesn't sound like something minor. So who is it?
Ever minor?
Who is it you run with these days? Which of the cartels are after this?
I think I just kind of just like sort of like draw the Alliance symbol with my finger on the desk.
She looks at it and then rubs over it. I see. Oh, you are playing with the big boys now.
Would you expect anything less? Really?
Okay, I can help you, but there will be a price.
There always is.
I don't think you're going to be able to take... If you're going for the target, I think you are. I don't think you're going to be able to take all of them. I want the information you're after.
That's an interesting catch, Aura. What models are you looking for?
Oh, I'm not looking for anything, but I'm sure there are other people out there that would be willing to pay. So, could you roll? This to me sounds like a consort.
Yeah, that feels fair.
And I'm offering you a devil's bargain. You can gain an extra dice, but she will have. If you do get the information, she will have that information, and she will sell that on to other people as well.
Yeah, I'm a scoundrel. I'll lean into that. Position on this?
I think this is pretty controlled position.
Okay.
She's an ally of yours. She's your friend.
Effect feels probably standard.
Yes, very much so.
And I will take that devil's bargain. Do I have anything else? No.
Okay, can you click where it says consort and tell me what your highest score is, please?
We have gotten a 4.
Excellent. So she provides you with a list of people who are attending, and it's the hoity-toity, the up-and-comers, the rich industrialists, most of which you suspect will have their own personal guards there as well. But in addition to that, they will also have their servants there and any servant droids that they have. But you do notice that there are a few names down on the list that you didn't expect. Well, you wouldn't have normally expected. There is Adeline. Sorry. Adeline Ball, who is the daughter of Moth Ball. God, that sounds like Mothball. I didn't think about that ahead of time, did I? Who will be present. But you also see another name on there. One which it just has a circle next to it saying dangerous and connected. And it goes by the name of Horrocks with a question mark next to it.
Is my sense that the notation on that was put there by Aura?
The notation on there is put there by Aura, yes. Aaron, are you there? That's up to you to decide.
Mike, would you? You're not Mike here. Durin, would you have taken us with you, or is this a private connection?
I don't know. I think I would probably try and keep it limited. But if you somehow talked your way in, I feel like I would go along with that. After some argument.
I think I'm probably along with you, not in the room, like maybe in a lobby or outside the room or something.
Brilliant. So having done that, we'll cut that scene there. Andy, would you like to approach your connection?
Yes. So Aaron, I think basically I'm gonna dial her up because I just want to get some introductions to smooth our way into the ball and maybe smooth things along in a desperate moment.
Excellent. Okay, so how are you meeting Aura?
Let's see. I imagine that I kind of like the idea that Aaron is actually there physically, and we're meeting up in advance of the ball in person.
Okay.
Because I like to do things in person when I can.
Excellent. So what sort of setting is this in?
I'm kind of picturing like I imagine there's probably some sort of guest quarters.
Okay.
That have been, that are provided for the people in attendance.
Okay. So is this at a hotel, or is this actually something just outside the palace?
I think this is like maybe a fairly upscale hotel sort of place.
Okay. So you touch the intercom on the door. It beeps. Oh, who's there?
Oh, it's just your old friend, the Count.
Oh, come in, come in. The door shifts open, and you see that there's a variety of servants laying out clothes on the bed. But he's stood up on a little muffet,
Mhm.
and a tailor droid is going around him, measuring it up and laying swaths of fabric
Yeah.
over as he's getting his suit and costume ready for the actual ball itself. Oh, it's good to see you. Come in, please. Would you like something to drink?
Oh, certainly.
B3, B3, we have a guest. Put the recap on. And his butler droid comes out and sees you. Oh, hello. Hello, sir. Would you like the usual?
You know me.
Very good, sir. And he disappears back into the kitchen. A few moments later, lays down a tea service, and there's 2 cups there. And the noble is still up on the muffet, actually, still having measurements done. Oh, so you got an invite as well, did you? Oh, it's going to be so much fun tonight.
Yes. I'm afraid, though, I've been a little anxious because I've been somewhat out of the scene, and I'm feeling a little rusty. I don't
Oh,
suppose.
no nonsense. You'll be fine. You'll dance like you used to.
Yes, but I'm not as up on the who's who and the so-and-sos, and I was wondering if you could maybe ease things along a little for me.
Oh, surely good for chap. What do you need? Do you need invites to dances? Oh, there's some lovely ladies going tonight.
I think that might do. I think whatever you can do to just give me some introductions and help me make some new friends quickly.
Oh well, just so you're aware, I'm actually going on. This is a date tonight for me.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh yes, lovely fellow, lovely fellow. He's got a very good family, but he has a sister.
Really?
Oh yes, she's quite the charmer from what I hear. Little bit of a hothead, but weren't we all when we were that age?
I just kind of laugh along.
Oh, do you fancy making it a double date?
I think this is an excellent opportunity. I would love to.
Okay, I will set you up with Mekash then. She's an absolute charmer. Twi'lek, did you know? From a noble family, very good breeding. So we're your best, and I'm sure you'll do the side proud.
Oh, you know I always wear my best.
Oh yes, I remember some of those outfits previously. Oh, I don't think I could compete. You're going to outshine me, my boy. You're going to outshine me.
It's kind of got a good-natured laugh, clap him on the shoulder.
Oh, careful. Ow! What are you doing with that pin? Stop it. They don't make them like they used to.
No, they don't.
Yeah, okay. So we'll meet up and go in together?
Indeed.
Oh, okay. I'll send my speed around for you then. Where should I send it?
I imagine. Oh, that's a good question. Say, I think I'm going to take some time after I freshen up to just take in the local scenery. So I'll be down at what sort of biome is this planet?
The planet itself is what's known as a trash world.
Right.
In that most of the surface is water, but the bits that aren't are basically the large expanses of land are basically a large trash heap. And what they do is they strip down technology here and then resell it on, or actually decommission it and then process it into other into other materials. So it's all about recycling.
So I think there's a local landmark that's like this sort of trash sculpture. Just like a very strange abstract piece that was done.
Oh, but yes, by all means, out in the out by the market square. Oh
Indeed.
yes, I'll have it round there for you by 8 o'clock. Okay.
Very good.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to this. Oh, we had so much fun together. You're always a good laugh. You always bring the excitement.
Oh yes.
Remind me. You don't have it. You're not bringing cards this time, are you?
I just put my hands up. Card free, completely card free.
Good. I lost enough money to you last time at Sabak. I really don't want to go run into Daddy again to actually get more money. My allowances is all I have at the moment, and you know, clothing isn't cheap.
Now, see, I can be considerate sometimes.
Well, I will see you later. Ta-ta!
Sort of give a bow and bow out.
And as you walk out the door, you basically catch the tail end of the conversation there from B3, the butler droid, going, "Oh, Master, you really should stop slumming with these people. They do nothing for your reputation." As the door closes. Okay, so with that said, is there anything anyone else would like to do? Aaron, we've had Andy and Mike do something. Would you like to do anything before going to the act? We do the engagement role.
Been thinking about it. I feel like no. That's going to be my simple answer.
Okay. So you have the actual ball coming up. So everyone gets ready. So going in, Andy, you're going in with your contact. Mike and Aaron, are you going in together or are you arriving separately?
I think I'd try to glom on with Duran.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. So in which case then, what I would like you to do is I would like you to choose your loadout. I would suggest going for a light loadout in this instance. Anything heavier than that would likely draw attention that you may not necessarily want. And with that said, it's time to talk about the engagement role. Okay, so you've been welcomed in here. This is a high class reception, a ball, and because you've got that invite, I think that you do actually have some advantage there. You are hitting them where people aren't expecting people like yourselves to be. So I think you will gain one additional dice for that. Is there any other things that people would like to put on the table? Okay. So in which case then, would one of you look on the ship's sheet? There's something down there for a fortune roll. And I would like you to roll a fortune dice with +1 dice. And tell me what the highest result is, please.
If someone else can do it, I lost that screen. I got it. Oh, you got it?
No. I mean, I can.
Okay, 2 dice total. Is that what we're at?
That's right, yes.
So 5.
5. Okay, you start in a risky position. So I think when you get to the ball, You've all gone in. You've all gone in separately. You get searched as you as you go through security there, and there is quite heightened security here. You can see that there's planetary guards all around the ball itself, but you see that each of the different groups have actually brought along their own bodyguards, who tended to hang out round the side. And from the way they're standing, you can see that at least some of them look to have some sort of concealed blaster on them somewhere. So imagine a large, and by large I mean a huge cathedral-sized ballroom. It has arches going up high up. It's several hundred feet up. There are crystals hanging from the ceiling, casting all sorts of wonderful lights. There is music playing, and we're not talking about cantina music. It's not do 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 do. There's elegant. There's a full orchestra out actually playing, and these are proper musicians, not droid musicians that a lot of these places would have. This is very much the upper crust that are here. As you wander through, you go from person to person and person, and it's quite easy to actually see the person you're looking for, because in this case, the actual person that you've been sent you to look for, who is, let me remind myself of the name, Kolan Nog, stands with a huge retinue, and he's actually up on the dais at the top of the stage, at the top of the hall, with the planetary governor and with the Moth's daughter. And as you look around, you can see that there's at least a few people there in imperial uniforms, in white imperial uniforms, standing on the stage, standing up the stage next to the daughter. Not only that, there seems to be at the back of the hall a figure dressed in black, but it's black armor, just leaning against the wall, watching everything goes on. Djingo, you recognize that person. But more importantly, you don't just recognize that person. Before you see them, you sense a presence. And I think, and as you walk into the hall, you see that they start looking around as well, almost as if they've sensed something as well.
I feel like the reason why I'd asked Mike if I was with him during that scene, Horrocks was the name that's circled there, and that's one of my former teachers.
That's right, yes.
And I'm trying to decide whether or not I've told anybody that. I feel like I would have.
Would you like, I won't count this as a flashback. Would you like to have that conversation before we go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so where are you having this? Is this in the limo on the way there, or is this actually back on the ship?
I think it would be on the ship. I think if I'm going to tell people, I want everybody to know.
Okay.
And I think it's I think it's just a question of like, do you guys expect a do you expect the Force? Do you expect the dark side to be there? Do we expect something villainous, a little bit more powerful than something that we might be used to?
I do have one name that seems like the kind of name that someone who deals in the dark side of the Force would have. I don't know if it seems familiar to you at all. And I kind of like flip through the list and get to the name Horrocks and just kind of like point that one out. Horrocks, dangerous, has a question mark attached to his or her name. Sounds like that one could be trouble.
I think I lean over and I like cross out the question mark, and I say, "This is we're going to need to be need to be mindful, and I should ask if you even want me there. This is a he'll know me as soon as there will be no amount of cover for me if he's in the room.
I mean, it's only a matter of time until he knows us as well, so it may be beneficial to have a little bit of what he has on our side.
And I kind of make eye contact with Jingo. Do you feel prepared?
I was gonna say when Duran was like, when Duran said that that it would be helpful to have something, have the Force on her side. She was like really happy about that, and then you ask that question, and she sort of like falls a little bit. I think she's like still not quite certain of her abilities, and I think she just sides with. I guess I'll find out when I get there. Having both made the decision and also like answering.
And Count Kel just sort of nods and smiles, as though that was the answer he was looking for.
And I think I go find like a back room, and I'm like practicing tricks and like moving things.
Excellent. So when you step into the room, you're forewarned ahead of time. You know they're going to be there. Do you do anything to try and suppress yourself in the Force, to try and hide yourself?
Yeah, what does that look like?
Because there is an entire Force discipline that is actually taught on the ability to hide one's signature in the Force.
Oh, is this a thing I have?
Well, you have the attune ability.
Oh, yeah.
So if you wanted, you could try and attune and actually mask your presence. Or alternatively, if you just want to hide yourself physically and disguise yourself or do something to make it so that you don't look like who you are, you could try skulking or something similar.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Can we we're just trying to pull some information, or is this like an extended thing? Like, does it make sense for me to raise a distraction, like try to pull this guy out of a room?
You could that person in the room would certainly be a danger to the people there if what you're doing became evident. So you could certainly try and pull them out of the room yourself if you wanted to do so. But you're after the information, but also you're after the ships themselves. So depending what goes on, you can either class getting the information as a win, or you can actually, if we've got enough time, we can go and run for the ships.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna hide myself. I think I'm not gonna hide, but I'm also not. If I get seen, I'm gonna dance with him. Is what's gonna happen.
Excellent. So he's looking around, and you can see that although he's not descending to the dance floor itself, he is on guard and looking around. So you've got a dance hall full of people. As you come in, Duran. As you come in, Count Hell. You come in, and your friend is there with an absolutely gorgeous man on his arm. And as he comes up, you can see that there, standing with him, is a much younger woman. She looks to be around about 17, 18 years old. And you're quite a middle-aged man yourself. And you can see that although she's dressed in finery, she just doesn't look right for this place. She's visibly very frustrated about being here. And as you come up, she goes, "Oh, so you're my date, are you?"
Say, so it seems. I feel like I can already sense that we're both jealous of our good friend here.
Oh, not at all. I have no affection. I have no affection for that bag of wind. This is a complete and utter joke. I'm supposed to be here. She looks at you. You're not wanting to marry me, are you? Let's just get this out of the way here. You haven't come here with some sort of weird proposal or anything.
That would be dreadfully sudden. I don't rush things.
I agree, but I wouldn't put it past my mother.
Ah, I see. Sort of nod in understanding.
She's been trying to marry me off for years. Okay. So you're not here trying to actually secure an alliance or whatever, or trying to marry into my family or whatever. You're just here to dance, right?
Oh, I'm here to dance.
Right. Okay. She takes your hand. Then let's go and dance. Let's actually make something of this.
Sounds good.
And she drags you onto the dance floor. And there's a lot of elegance dancing. It's all ballroom dancing, and you can see she's obviously skilled at it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's got a bit too much energy for what would normally be considered proper etiquette here. She's just not taking. She's not really paying attention to the other people. She doesn't slow down, and she does bump into the occasional person, and it's drawing a bit of a attention to yourself.
Mm-hmm. I think that I would like to basically lower my profile by just surreptitiously smoothing the waters with social graces.
Brilliant. What do you think that is? Do you think that's sway, or
I think that's
consort?
Ooh, I think that's probably sway, just like little bits and pieces here and there. It's like, niceties and compliments just sort of make them forget what just happened and wash it away in the flow of the night.
Excellent. So if you would like to roll sway, I think you're pretty. You do have a chance of because these are very highfalutin people on this dance floor. So I'm going to say it's risky at this point, rather than controlled, and it's going to be standard outcome.
And remind me, so you get dice for the attribute.
Yep, you get dice. If you just click on the attribute itself, it will roll it for you.
Very good. I forgot about that.
I love having these sheets. It makes the game so much easier.
Excellent. Yeah, these are really cool. So position risky, effect standard, right?
Yeah.
And okay.
What did you get?
4.
Okay, so you get a partial success. So she's not. The people that around her are basically moving slightly away from her. She does bump into one or two people who look really, really upset by this, but you manage to smooth it over. You are drawing some attention from the top of the table, though, from the dais at the top. So there is a consequence here, and that the people doing the security there are taking notice. Would you like to resist that consequence?
Yeah, I would definitely like to resist this consequence.
Okay, I think that would be with resolve in this instance.
All right.
So if you just click where it says resolve.
Yeah.
Now, to resist a consequence, it costs 6 strain to do that.
Okay.
Minus the highest dice roll you get. So can you tell me what you get?
6 minus the highest. That is a critical.
Oh, you got two
Yeah, I
sixes.
got it. Or not a critical. Sorry, 1/6. 1/6.
So it doesn't cost you any strain to
Yeah.
do that.
So it's free. Not a critical.
not
That's
a-
right. Critical is double 6.
Not a critical. So the guards standing there look, and they see it's just a young girl acting up, and they don't really consider her or you a threat at this point, and they just let it carry on. What are people doing? Mike, you're in this hall yourself. The person you need to speak to is up on the dais. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of have my eye on the count and notice that the dance is going on, and kind of use that as an opportunity. And I'm kind of twisting my way through, like grabbing a glass of a beverage, just downing it really quick, and then like moving to the spot where like you drop off the glass, and just kind of like zigzagging my way, making it look as natural as something this deliberate as it can look, as I'm sort of like making my way up to there. And maybe I'm kind of looking back at the character names here. Jingo every once in a while to see where she's at. And yeah, just kind of keeping a track on the rest of the squad as I'm doing that.
Okay. As you get to the dais itself, you notice there is security in front of the dais that separates it from the main dance hall itself.
Oh, so true.
Yeah, so there are some. They're not uniformed, but they're very obviously stand-in guard.
And I'm going to walk up and just say, I'm just gonna. At first, I'm just gonna try and like walk past.
Okay. Well, as you step up to,
no, like as if I'm oblivious to the fact.
As you step up and try to step past them, two of them step together to bar your way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get through to there.
Special guests only in this section.
You're saying I'm not special?
I have no idea who you are, sir. Sorry, Mom. I keep on forgetting you're playing a female character.
I'm a bit taken aback that you don't know who I am.
He rolls his eyes. Then please, yep, by all means.
Can I try to convince them that they know who she is?
Oh yes, if you want to, by all means. How are you doing that?
I think I'm watching Horrocks, and I'm just staring at Horrocks, but I know what Duran is doing, and I think I'm close enough. I overhear the conversation, and just again, still staring at Horrocks as I do this. I'm like trying to nudge the idea into their minds that this is a person who belongs on the dais.
Okay. So normally there's a verbal aspect to the Jedi mind trick. So are you actually saying something like, "Do you know who this is? Surely you know this is. She's allowed up there, surely." Or something to that effect, or
yeah. This is. I think I'm muttering to myself. We all belong here.
okay.
We all belong up here.
Okay, to me that sounds like an attune.
Okay.
So would you like to roll a tune?
Yes, please. Risky?
Okay. Yep, it's risky at this point. And would anyone like to offer a devil's bargain?
I mean, I think that the clear devil's bargain here is that Horrocks is going to have a beat on you, and I think will approach you if you put that extra juice on this.
I don't think I'm trying to play this. No, I don't think I'm going to take that one. Not yet.
Okay.
This is her trying to be subtle at the outset of the mission, That's going to escalate quickly, though.
Okay, so can you tell me what you get for a tune?
I got a 6.
Oh, excellent. Absolutely excellent. Okay, so they stand there, go, yes, you all should be here. But by all means, yes. And I'm sorry I didn't recognize you. And they step apart and allow Duran through.
And I think like I was reaching, I have like forged documents and I have all this stuff to like, convince people that I am something. And so like I was like reaching for it. And like I was you probably see the look on my face is a little disappointed. And then like I'd look back towards Jingo and just kind of like shrug and walk past them.
I smile. Now is a competition between us.
Okay, so you're up amongst the upper class. Everyone's clothing here is absolutely immaculate. It's all the latest styles, the latest fashions. Apart from the only exception are those in white imperial uniforms. And I mean these are dress uniforms more than stormtrooper armor. So as you wander around, where are you going? Who are you approaching?
This is a good question because I just realized I'm not completely sure. I'm trying to get to the office, right? That's the goal here because there's data in the office. Is that correct?
No, that would have been if you went to the headquarters rather than the ball.
Oh, okay.
So what the person you're trying to get to here is the industrialist.
Okay. And that is, do we know the industrialist's name?
Yes, it's his name is Kolan Nog.
Colonel Nog?
Yeah, Kolan Nog. Not named after anyone from Star Trek at all, I swear.
Okay, so on this side, like the primary characters would be these sort of like these high-ranking Imperial officers, and then we've got Nog is somewhere, as well as we've got the daughter of that Adeline Ball.
Yes, you've got the Nog actually standing talking to the Moth's daughter.
Oh, really?
And
right.
Nog is easy to spot here. He's a Sullust. So he's a non-human, and the vast majority of the people at this party are humans themselves, as you'd expect at most Imperial gatherings.
So yeah, I think I'm just going to kind of like make my way towards them. I'm not going to like enter the conversation, but I'm going to enter a conversation that's going on right next to their conversation, and be kind of listening out one ear at what they're actually talking about.
Okay, so how do you suppose you're doing that? Are you actually using your social skills to actually be having a conversation with the person in front of you while listening? Or is this very much trying to keep a low profile and listen in? So is that more a consort, or is it more skulk? Or is it even study?
I think, I think it's kind of, well, okay, so I think I'm going to try and okay, so a little bit of an aside. What would I be trying to get from the industrialist? Am I talking to him? Does he have like a key? Like, is this more of a physical thing or an informational thing?
This is more of an informational thing. You're trying to find out where trying to find out something like the name of the ship that the fighters are on, or the route they're going, or where they're being delivered. Something that will allow you an in to actually go and get them.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, unfortunately, I think that this is probably a study.
Okay. Do you have any points in study?
Nope, I don't have any points.
Okay. In that case, if you was there anyone here actually assisting you? Because what you can do is if you assist another character, you describe how you assist. You spend 1 stress and they gain a dice. which would actually take you up to 1 dice at that point rather than 0, because 0 dice would actually have you roll 2 dice and take the lowest. Or you
I'll
could spend.
help if Andy wants to do something here. I don't want to jump in, but I'll come in.
Actually, I do. I do have a thought. We can do this with a flashback, right? Or is that a separate? I forget if it's
No,
a
no,
separate
you
mechanic.
can use a flashback if you want. It is a. You'd spend stress for the flashback to actually set up something, and that will allow you to make a roll that would influence this
Great.
year.
Yeah. So I think I want to flash us back to the ship, and Count Helkosh is having to sit down with Duran to just sort of brief her on everything, because she's an absolutely hopeless study when it comes to fancy parties. So this is just like the very lengthy lecture on how to be fancy and have some semblance of etiquette, not completely embarrass us. But it also is going to include some details about holographic PowerPoint. Yes, indeed. But basically, this is going to include some details. So refresh me on what the study role is. What we're doing with this.
The study is to listen into the conversation that
Right.
Kolan is having with the Moth's daughter.
Right. So I think this is actually going to be a basic primer, right, on some of the peculiarities of formal speech and just the very elevated way, stuff that would like probably normally escape Duran's notice, because Duran was raised in a completely different environment. And it's like, okay, look, this is how they talk. This is how to follow a conversation. They don't exactly talk straight to the point. And so here are all the ways that like fancy people talk around stuff. And here's how to figure out what they're actually talking about based on that. If that makes sense.
Perfect. I'm just going to call that a standard 1 stress thing, and I would count it as a normal assist at this point.
Cool.
So if you want to gain a 1 dice to that roll, please do so. Are there any devil bargains anyone would like to offer? Okay, so in which case, can you roll 1 dice then, please, for study? So if you click it, it should give you the option of adding an additional dice.
Yeah, it's the prompt just didn't pop up for me. There we go. Feels like it's probably risky.
It is risky, and it's a stand. It is a you're going to get minimal information out of this, so it's going to have a low effect.
Okay.
But if you wish, you can push yourself to make to actually have more information come out of that. So you could push yourself for 2 stress to make that a standard effect.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So roll the dice then.
So it should be adding 1 bonus die because it will be a die base, and I should get 1 more, right?
You'd have one dice for this.
Oh, okay. So it was not good.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 2.
Okay, well, I think while you're doing this, one of Kolan's bodyguards notices you listening in, and unless you resist this, he will come over and actually start asking pointed questions about what you're doing.
I am I'm entirely happy if he wants to come over and talk.
Okay. So the bodyguard, in a very rich brocade, double-breasted jacket, comes over to you and goes, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I help?"
I'd love some help. I just seem to be a little bit lost, and I mean, I know I'm supposed to be up here, but I'm not quite sure where my seat is. I know we're all just milling about right now. I'm not too worried about, I'm not getting too stressed out about it, but I do want to know once things get in order, like I need to know where I'm going and what's kind of going on.
Can I see your invite then, please? And I will help you find your seat.
Oh, yes, my invite. It says I have forged documents. So
Yep. You can use your forged documents at this point to do this. So you'll hand over a forged invite.
Yes, and I think we'll just do that.
And I'm going to say the forward invite actually has you, for the dinner placement, actually has you sitting next to Kolan. Well, sitting opposite Kolan. So the security guard takes you over. He shows you where your place at the dinner table is. And while this is going on, you can see the planetary governor, the Duke, calls for the first dinner course. And everyone goes and takes their seats. What? The people on the dance floor go back to their own tables around the side, and you can see an army of serving droids come out and start putting down plates of very elaborate food. It's all the little tiny finger food, so it's very tasteful, but very tasty. But there's not a lot of it. So you're sat opposite Kolan. He starts tucking into the food. He looks to be totally out of place here himself. His manners aren't anywhere near refined, and he doesn't wait for the toast by the planetary governor. He just starts tucking in. This is good. Waiter. And the droid comes over. Yeah, can I get more of this? And the droid goes away, comes back and replaces the plate, and he starts eating. Next section. What are you doing?
What am I doing? Is this a situation where we could flash back to have drugged the food?
If you wish to, yes.
I
believe you have illicit drugs as one of the things that you have on your sheet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you'd like to mark illicit drugs, you need to spend 2 stress to do this.
Done.
And I would like you to make a skulk roll, please.
Always with the rolls. Sure. Risky. What's the effect?
The effect, I think, is going to be standard at this point.
Okay. Oh, we'll save that. Bonus dice? Anyone got a devil's bargain for me here?
Sorry, I thought you were going to say something for a moment there, Aaron.
I was, and then I lost it.
What are you putting? Okay, what are you putting in the food? What sort of drugs are you putting in?
It's gonna be something that's like disorienting but euphoric.
Okay. So so here's a devil's bargain. You can certainly drug the food, but he's going to get very, very, very chummy with everyone. And He's gonna piss off the people on the high dais, the planetary governor. So they'll actually ask him to step outside, get a bit of air, and calm down, and come back when he's feeling a bit better.
I'll take that.
Okay, so what is your role?
It's a 6.
Oh, you knock it out of the park. Okay, he's there. He goes, oh, this is good. Oh, I could eat loads of this. Can I get more, please? And the droids come back, and you can see there's 3 or 4 plates, and he's, oh yes, oh, and he turns to the person next to him. Oh, you eating that? And he starts picking up food off their plate, and you can see one of the seneschals for the planetary duke comes over, bends down, whispers in his ear, and what? No, really? He looks round. All right then, where's the toilets? And he gets up and he wanders away. Now, while this is all going on, you're having polite conversation with the people around you. And what are the group doing as he wanders he goes off from the big dais? His bodyguard goes with him, who goes to the toilets and stands outside as he goes into the cubicles. He goes into the toilet area himself. He's now isolated and alone if people want to approach him.
It's kind of what I was thinking, actually. Because I'm still on the main floor, and I've seen him leave the dais. And I don't entirely know what's gone on up on the dais, but I can definitely make guesses as to this being the result of our machinations.
Excellent. So you go to the toilet. The security guard is standing there. He gives you a side eye as you go in, and you're in this opulent room. It's polished marble floors. It doesn't look like what you'd expect from a normal bathroom. It's really 5-star. There's crystals over the ceiling, casting lights and make different clean noise occasionally. There are pressed polished gold mirrors, and there are several separate cubicles set up, and you can hear coming from one of them.
Is there some place for me to just sit or
Oh yes, there's seats around where people can sit around. This is a large upper class toilet. There's even a droid there that is basically offering hand washes and other things. And he turns to you. Hello, good sir. Do you wish a towel? And he offers you a hand towel.
I sort of say, not at this time, but thank you.
Very good. And he goes back to arranging his cleaning utensils and all of his perfumes and all the other things that he has there for the guests who come through. And so how are you approaching this? What are you doing?
So I'm going to wait for him to come out looking somewhat sickly, and then I'm just going to try and make small talk with him. Just sort of passing it off as like, I couldn't really, I needed a breath of fresh air. I couldn't really stand all the hubbub.
Oh, it was terrible. I'm surrounded by all these people who think they're better than you as well. Oh, I don't feel well.
Tell me about that.
So Do I know you?
I sort of smile.
Towel! And the droid, you rip the towel from the droid's hands and
Yep.
wipe it over his head. Oh,
Well,
that food tasted lovely, but it's coming back.
I think I know you now.
No.
And I sort of offer my hand for a shake. You can call me Kel.
No. He takes the hand. Absolute pleasure, Kel. Kel. That name sounds familiar.
I haven't taken any money from you at Sabak, have I?
Trust me, you would know if you had. How many fingers do you have left?
I'd stop and count. Well,
then, no, you haven't.
sort of laugh along. I think I'm just gonna start like pushing into the area of like finding out what he does, what his responsibilities are. You know.
I run one of the stripping companies here. It's a big concern. It's growing.
Indispensable.
I've got a huge contract recently, and they've got a shipment. They've got shipment coming in from Mandalore of old obsolete starfighters, and yes, the first foot in the door with the Empire.
That is impressive. That's exciting.
Oh, you have an interest in antique fighter craft, do you?
I sort of wave it off. Not specifically, but I am sufficiently educated to understand the import of this.
Good man.
And I think like this is where I'm going to start prying for more specific details, just kind of innocently. Like is this where I could consort?
If you want to consort, yes.
Yeah. Sort of like in the name of curiosity and appreciation. It's like I'm going to try to get more information there.
Okay. So in which case, can you make a consort roll, please? I think it's a controlled situation.
Cool.
So I think you can have a standard impact as well.
Excellent. If anyone has a devil's bargain to offer me.
Go ahead, Mike. I was gonna say he vomits on you, and you can't get it back out into the dance floor without raising a huge scene.
Nice.
Are you accepting that bargain?
I'll take that. Let's see what we can do with this. This is very out of his element. So.
Okay. So can you roll it, please?
Controlled standard bonus die. Rolling. Oh, so close to a critical.
What did you get?
I got a 6.
So yes, he talks about how he started from nothing, how he's worked his way up, how he's recently taken on his own freighters. He's got this old Hulk, got a real good bargain on it. The Ghost of Mandalore. It's a huge thing. It can carry shipments larger than you'd ever imagine. Huge. It's going to make me so much money. And there's just a stream of vomit goes down the front of your clothing.
Sort of glance over at the droid. Towel, please.
Here you go, sir. And I think the droid has a towel dispenser, so it's actually built in. It's just... And he hands it to you.
I sort of going to start cleaning up. Do you have any perfume?
Yes. And one of the droid's arms, I think, has a built-in perfume dispenser, and it sprays over you.
I'm like,
It can't quite hide the stench.
this is going to smell terrible, but it's better than nothing.
So at this point, Kolan is very much on the floor. Toilet. He stumbles back to the cubicle, and he continues being sick into the actual toilet itself.
And that's when I make my way out, having gotten the information.
Excellent. So you come out, and as you come out, the bodyguard is standing there. He looks at you. What's that smell?
You have a friend in there?
Yeah, my boss is in there. Why? What's happened? And you can see his hand goes inside his jacket pocket.
He's not feeling so well.
Little twerp.
Something ain't disagreed with him.
And he goes through the door, and you can see that he's talking into his comm link as that's on his wrist as he goes in. And you're standing there. As you wander past people, you notice a few of them, and they turn their noses up. And where are you going? What are you doing?
At this point, I think I'm going to... So I have a communicator on my equipment list. Does the other person also need to have that?
They would need to have a communicator as well, but
okay.
your load will actually reset when you get back to the ship.
Excellent. Does anyone else... Is that second half like a standard list of stuff? Like, does somebody else have a communicator?
Everyone will have standard items, so they should all have communicators on there.
If somebody is good to mark their communicator off, I'm going to try and find an isolated place, like maybe like an artificial garden or something, and make a call.
That's fine. They're beautiful crystal gardens.
Excellent.
On the actual just on the outside of the hall. So all the plants there, they are living plants, but they're made of this strange alien crystal. Absolutely beautiful. But you notice that there's several couples hidden in the garden who are doing things they don't want their parents seeing, and you can see that there's other people standing around, and there's huge fireworks displays going on outside, and you find your little corner and you fire up your comms.
Yeah. So who's marking off a box for the communicator to pick up?
I'm happy to. I feel like maybe we both do.
Yeah.
We've got slots to spare, I think.
Yep, I've got mine marked off, so...
I mean, Aaron, if you want in on this as well.
I'm just going to really quickly reconnoitered with the Falcon. Omnibus has been extracted. I have everything.
And I message back, I can smell you from here.
Yes, well, I can see you from all the way over here. And that blouse is an eyesore.
And you see me, I guess, get up from the table and start walking out.
And at this point, I think everyone is going to be able to extract, and I don't think you're going to have any problems getting away. They're more concentrated about keeping people in. Sorry, stopping people getting into the party than letting them get out. So you all slip outside. I think at this point it's a good opportunity to take our mid-session break. So if we'll call a break here if we come back at 22 the hour. So I will see you all in 7 minutes. Okay, welcome back, Andy.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't know about anyone else, but I needed that.
Oh yeah, it's good. It works in a lot of ways. It's a nice clean break.
Okay. I can't believe how many handouts this system has. I'm used to having just maybe 1-2 page handout for Powered by the Apocalypse games, and the number of things I need to remember for this system is just so much bigger.
Yeah, it is very, very meaty.
3 pages of reference sheets.
Yeah. There is a sort of the nice thing about it is, at least for me, is that it's got a lot of flexibility.
Yeah. Well,
There's a lot of easy fallback rolls you can do.
I'm really liking what I've seen so far, and it's made better by the fact that I don't have to roll a single goddamn dice. Because one of the big pitfalls I find when I'm running games is my dice are terrible. My dice are absolutely terrible. It always makes it far too easy for the players. 1 second. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I've got sinus problems. So if I mute myself or sniff, I do apologize. I'm not being rude. I'm just trying to save you from the worst of it. Okay. Ooh. Sorry about that. Okay, so everyone leaves. So if everyone's back, are we ready to start again? Brilliant. So we have everyone leave the ball. The night the merriment goes on. As I said, there's fireworks all over, but the jingo. One thing that happens as you actually leave the hall itself, as you get to the door, you feel a familiar mind touch yours. I can feel you here. Is that you, my apprentice?
Can I? How how safe of a distance are we right now?
You're the other end of the hall. You're literally at the doorway. So this is a cathedral size. So this is about 4 or 5 football fields.
Okay. Can I overturn like a table of some sort near him?
Oh yeah,
Like kick a chair out from somebody next to him or something like that.
oh yeah. You can certainly do that if you want to do so.
Yeah, I just want to like send a message.
Okay, so can you roll a tune then, please?
Yeah. Oh, petty bastard I am.
And risky, and I'll offer you a devil's bargain. If you take it, he will spot you as you leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So roll the extra dice then, please.
5s.
Okay. So you concentrate for a moment. You move your hand. A chair that one of the very overdone lords was sitting on suddenly flies back, and he tumbles out of it. at Horrocks' feet and looks up. Horrocks looks at him, looks up, looks straight to the end of the hall, and your eyes meet for that one moment. You can feel him. You can feel him probing. He's trying to make that connection, forge that connection to you. He's trying to link himself to you. But this brings back such strong memories. This brings back all the pain and suffering he put you through during training. You flash back to all the times he tried to fill you with hate, with rage. And I think that's going to actually mark off, as a consequence, that will mark off two segments on your dark side wheel. But you can resist that if you wish.
No, I don't want to.
Okay, you feel the fear, the hate fill you.
Yeah.
And for that brief moment, your hand curls in the fist. Are you leaving, or are you doing anything more?
No, I'm leaving. I'm smart, but I'm very angry, and I think I kick a droid on the way out. Like after we've left the sort of main.
That's fine. You go down to the main where they park all the skimmers, the speeders. You kick a droid. There's a noise as it goes tumbling over, and you get into the car. And I think it's going to be obvious to everyone else that something has happened with you. So everyone's back in the speeder. What happens when you see Django come in? And Django is just the way that she's carrying herself. You can tell something is is not right, and she's not her normal happy self.
I'd probably lean over and just I don't know, try and have some light conversation and just be like, did you see the Count dance? That was really something, wasn't it? Like, I know that it's going to work, but I'm trying.
I think Django says, "No, I didn't see the Count dance," but then looks over at you and says, "But I do believe the score is 1-0. You're welcome on that assist over there."
And Count Helkosh kind of adds on that. I think we discovered that you were prepared.
She says, "Of course I was prepared," and then she storms off.
Sort of going to note that very thoughtfully.
She's very sensitive.
I'm unmuted, so let's unmute. So you have the name of the ship now, the Ghost of Mandalore. You should be able to pull its flight plan out of records, which will tell you where it's going. It's quite easy to actually get that information. It's all publicly held. You don't really need to spend much to do that or spend much time doing that. Your information broker friend will be able to provide that very easily. So it shows that it actually has it has to pass through an asteroid field to get to you. Now this field does have routes cleared to allow people to get through from one of the outer moons, but the asteroids would seem to be the best place because they would cover the radar trail. Yeah, you can certainly have a downtime segment between now and going for the freighter if you wish. So what would people like to do? I'll give everyone one downtime action. So starting with Aaron. Would you like to take any downtime actions?
What are the downtime actions again?
I'm just
Are
looking
these
them up.
prescribed, or is it? I can't remember.
They are specific ones. Let me just get them up. Downtime activities. Okay. So the activities are acquire asset, craft, indulge vice. I didn't actually specify everyone's vice because I wasn't expecting downtime to come up in this. Lay low, which would reduce heat. Long-term project, recover if you're injured, repair or train. So effectively, this is going to be to acquire an asset if you want to in between, or a chance to blow off some stress.
I think that knowing that Horrocks is near or onto me, I'm wondering if I can acquire an asset, and specifically one of my weird friends, Blish, who's a fellow mystic.
Okay.
Can we bring another person on board, or is that
an asset would normally be another piece of equipment. So so something that could help you. So an artifact of some sort. But if you want to reach out to Blish, by all means, we can certainly do that. So yeah, okay. No, I'm going to say yeah. Okay. So you approach Blish. What are you asking of him?
I feel like Blish and I both know Horrocks. I think we were both in this this training camp together, and I guess I'm mining for information about Horrocks, things that I didn't pick up on because I was too young, things that maybe not. I'm looking for weaknesses. How do I get to this guy?
Okay. He's full of pride and anger. He doesn't like to be upstaged. He doesn't like people disobeying him. And he lets when that happens, his rage gets the best of him. So many of the others who were brought in, so many of those young children, they got on the wrong side of him, and he carried that grudge.
What did he do to them?
He paired them off with each other. He would put them into harder and harder fights. He would train them harder, faster, things that they weren't ready for.
Was I one of the lucky ones, or was I one of them?
You're still around, aren't you? The Force works in mysterious ways. When the dark side of the Force consumes you, you don't think rationally. They try too hard, too fast.
I saw him again, and I couldn't help myself. I lashed out. How do I control myself? How did you control yourself?
I found a quiet place within me. I held on to those things which I couldn't lose, and I let them go. The Jedi had many things wrong with them. They were pacifistic to a point. They were pliant to a point. But the reed that bends doesn't break.
Sometimes I just want to break.
We've all been there. We've all wanted to rage at the world. That only leads to the dark side. You must put your hate and your passion behind you. You must You must become one with the Force. The Force guides us. We do not direct it.
Sometimes I feel like the Force. Sometimes I feel like it's less of a guidance than it is a weight bearing down on me. Less a path and more of a crushing.
The fish that swims in the river must constantly battle. It must constantly battle the stream. Is that stream a weight?
If you go down deep enough.
But without that stream, there is no river.
Suppose you are right.
He takes your hand and let the Force surround you. Let it fill you. Learn from it. Listen to it. Let it guide your hand. Do not force it to conform to you. Conform to it. And it will lead you to serenity you'll never have experienced before. It won't be easy. It won't be easy. I'm not saying it ever will. But there are times when we must simply learn to let go, to swim with the river, rather than force our way against it.
I will try to do what you ask.
He smiles. May the Force be with you. And if you want, you can clear a point of that dark side wheel if you wish.
Nice. Thanks.
Is there anyone else wanting to do anything?
Yeah. Also, my character sheet, it says I can take an extra downtime activity to acquire assets or lay low.
That's right, yes.
So, I definitely want to do one to acquire assets. I would actually like to set up a defector.
Okay.
I think
That you know that special ability that you have there. It's actually the one in blue with the solid mark against it that you have. You don't actually have all those abilities. You only have one of them.
Right. Well, it says I start with Air of Respectability, which is the extra downtime activity, and then I get Subterfuge.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one, aren't I?
Oh.
Sorry, I was looking at Durant's sheet. I do apologize.
Oh, good.
So yes, yep, you gain an extra downtime activity to acquire an asset. Okay, so you're setting up a defector.
Yes, a defector on was it the Ghost of Mandalore?
Okay. That's fine. Would you like to make a fortune? Actually, what are you doing to set that up? How are you setting it up?
So, I think that I'm going to basically go through the roster, do a bit of research, identify someone who's susceptible to being flipped, and then work through the network that remains to me of contacts and, find some sort of title or favor that I can promise them.
Okay. Well, you do actually find someone on that list that has huge gambling debts. Morat, who's she's one of the deckhands on the actual ship itself. Works as one of the mechanics. So yes, so in order to flip her, you will need to make a roll, and she will ask for payment as a result of this. So she'll ask for 1 credit payment. So, with that said, how are you doing this? Is this a consort? Is this a sway? Are you trying to intimidate her with command?
I think I'm going to sway.
Okay. Can you make a sway roll then, please?
Yeah. Risky position or
A risky position, yes.
okay.
And it's standard effect.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay, that's a 6.
Okay. So yes, she agrees to go on. She's desperate for the money to actually clear these the debts that she has with Crimson Dawn. So she eagerly agrees to. What exactly are you asking her to do?
You think can we like work that almost like
Would you like to do it in flashback or?
yeah, like when the opportunity comes, it's like, oh wait, I know exactly what I want to use this for, and
That's
then we
fine.
just kind of
I'll
retcon that.
That's fine. I'll give you a free flashback later on to do
Cool.
that if you like. And Mike, is there anything you'd like to do? Anyone you'd like to speak to, or anything you'd like to acquire before going forward?
Yeah, I kind of have this idea. If it sounds good with the other folks, it feels like the ghost of Mandalore is kind of like collecting / trading in these like antique fighters and that type of thing. So I think it might be interesting to put a decoy in its path that they might try to salvage, something that's kind of irresistible. So my thought was I would acquire an asset and I would go to try and find a less valuable than the ships that we're going for, antique fighter of some sort that we could have look like it's been abandoned or whatever.
Brilliant. How are you shopping for that? What means are you using for that? Are you calling on favors from any friends or?
Yeah, I think like oh, well, how about maybe I work this with Aura? And it's kind of like because Aura was interested in setting up and getting access to some of the ships. And so maybe I kind of do, yeah, sort of like you give me one now and you can take 3 later kind of thing. And that feels like an appropriate risk, Aura.
Yep, brilliant. So are you looking for a fighter, one-man fighter, two-man fighter, a shuttle of some sort, or are you planning to use this to get as your point of insertion onto the ship, or?
Thinking at least for like one or a couple of us, my thought was that the Scarlet Lady should be involved in this as well. So it's probably not the whole crew that would be sneaking on in this way, but just trying to get another person inside, maybe to hook up with Marat and create some chaos on the coast of Mandalore.
Brilliant. So yeah, can you please roll consort then? Sorry. From what you describe, it sounds like a consort because you're working with your the people that you know and people you have background connection.
I mean, I could change the description to push it into sway because I'd love to roll sway once.
Okay.
And yeah, like I think this is more about me just like being like very like convincing and like dangling out that lure of like here's the inventory of what's on that ship right now, and you're really going to tell me, Aura, that like this piece of junk that you want, I know it's valuable. I know that anyone who saw this floating in space would want this this fighter, but look at this list. And so
Brilliant.
like I'm kind of to lure her in with greed.
Brilliant. In which case, can you roll sway then, please?
Yeah. Oh, we reverted to the mean. We got a 3.
Okay. So she will give you a Zeti headhunter. It's a very, very old fighter. It came about, well, it was about at the start of the Clone Wars and a little bit beforehand. It has no shields. It has enough room for one person. It doesn't even have proper turbo lasers. It just has little piddly laser cannons on it. So, yep, it's banged up. It's dinged up, and she will let you have it.
Yeah, well,
Now,
something nothing.
There is a complication to this.
Oh, there always is a complication. Isn't there?
There is a tracking device aboard.
Oh, okay.
So if you would like to resist that, you can certainly resist that complication.
Fair is fair. It's not my property. I'm not too concerned about that.
Okay, so she will give you this headhunter, the small one-man fighter.
Cool.
Okay, so how are we setting this up? How are we doing this? How are we approaching this? Is this a stealth approach? Is this an infiltration? Are we trying to deceive them into taking on the actual ship itself, or what's happening here? How are we going forward with this?
Yeah, I mean, my thought would be it would start as kind of like on that infiltration side sort of thing, but then shift to kind of an all-out assault.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Andy, Aaron?
Well, we had the bit with the decoy, right? I think that's probably going to clue us in to the entry point. I think I would agree with infiltration.
Okay. So here's the question. Who's going on the fighter? And is this going to be just hanging dead in space, or have them come over and actually salvage it, or?
So I think that this is something that Django can probably do, if she can like sort of mask her presence so that they can't see that there's a body in the ship.
Brilliant. Yes, I'm up for that. Jedi have been known to go into hibernation and into trances that lower their heat, lower their body rates and their heart rate, their breathing, and make it appear that they are indeed dead. So you could certainly do that to look like the pilot of this thing that has, oh dear, passed away. So with that said, would someone like to roll an engagement roll? You have all the information you need for this. They're going to be at a specific. You are exploiting a vulnerability here. You have the route. You have the name of the ship. You have set it up so that you've tempted them with something that they want to get hold of. So I'm going to give you an additional dice for that. This is quite a daring plan to board a ship as well. So I will give you an additional dice for that as well. So that's 3 dice in total.
All right.
Mike, are you rolling that?
Yeah, I got it set up. Here it comes. In theory. 5.
5. Okay. So we'll cut to the fighter being drawn into the cargo bay by a tractor beam. So it comes through, the doors to the cargo bay open. There's none of these force fields that actually keep the oxygen in. So they've basically emptied the oxygen from the cargo bay. You get pulled in. The cargo bay doors close with a crunching sound as the fighter that you're in is inside. Now, I take it that the Scarlet Lady is hanging around somewhere on silent running nearby.
I think we're kind of like on the back of an asteroid or in the cave of an asteroid or something like that.
Okay. So while this is going on, you can see that You can hear a sound as oxygen fills the cargo bay. The door opens, and you can see several. You can see about 5 or 6 people actually come forward. They're in full suits. They come up and they start looking over the actual headhunter itself. You can't really hear conversation through because these are spaceships and they don't let random vibrations and noises through like that. But you can see one of them climbs up the actual ladder that he attaches on to look into the cockpit, and he looks through and he sees you there. What are you doing,
No,
Jingo?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, I think I want to. Yeah, I'm gonna wipe his mind. Wipe.
Okay. Can you push yourself to do that, please?
Sure. This is an attune.
Yes. Or you can spend a gambit if you wish to do that instead because of your mystic ability.
Yeah, let's do that. How does the gambit work? Is that just an extra die?
No. The gambit in your case, your mystic basic ability, is instead of spending stress to do things, you can actually to use the way or the force in this instance. You can actually spend a gambit to do so.
Oh, yeah. Is that a thing on my sheet, or
That's the thing. That's the thing on your sheet. So the gambit is on the ship.
Oh. Okay, that I remember. Yeah. Does anybody mind if I use a gambit here? I'm gonna do that.
Okay. So can you roll with the tune, please?
I can. Risky standard.
Risky standard, yeah.
And how many bonus die?
You don't get any bonus die to it.
Okay. It's 4.
Okay, so it's a partial success. So he looks in, he looks down. Yeah, it looks fine. He crawls down the ladder. Right, let's start breaking her up. Go get the power tools.
I think this is where I want to come in with that asset established. I think I want to flash back to kind of this exchange and my explanation. I'm like, okay, so we're going to need a diversion. When I send the signal, I want you to find a system on the ship and just make it go haywire. And that's what I want to use this defector for.
That's fine. You don't need to roll anything there. I will take it as take it as read. This is a narrative thing. Jingo, the ship shudders, and people watching from outside notice that the ship has started tilting as one of the thrusters has jammed on full power. So one of the big engines, there's 3 big engines at the back, and one of them has just come on full strength, and it's causing the ship to turn and twist. In the hangar bay itself, the cargo bay itself, you can see the engineering crew go wild. Flashing red lights come on, klaxons come on, and you can see that talking into the comm links. They start all running out, and they leave you in the hangar on your own. What are people doing? Oh, sorry. Can people choose their load, please? I've totally forgot to do that.
Is the plan here to board the Ghost of Mandalore, or is it to incapacitate in some way? Like, how are we getting you guys in here, or not? I'm just going to keep doing this.
Good question. Yeah, probably we need to incapacitate it. Thought maybe we get a couple ships out, just fly them out. But
So your plan is to take each ship individually rather than like taking over the Ghost of Mandalore.
well, I feel like it's better to like if we're gonna call in the alliance or whatever to grab these fighters and that type of thing, it's better to have some fighters protecting that effort as opposed to just having a ship that has been incapacitated floating around with the load. So you might as well like get an escort out of it, right? So you fly a couple out, use those to kind of like protect the rest of the shipment, and that way, if there is the Empire sets in fighters or bounty hunters come in or whatever, we've got a little more firepower. Might as well use what we're stealing.
So then your vision is that each of us is going to man a ship but how do we take over the Ghost of Mandalore?
Well, that's what we have to do.
Oh, okay.
We need to, incapacitate the Ghost of Mandalore, and then we'll be able to kind of,
Do we have reinforcements coming to like pull this ship? Is that part of the plan? Like if it's incapacitated, maybe I'm confused. If it's incapacitated, how are we moving it?
I don't think that's going to be. I think once you take control of the ship and once you've holding the ship, the rebels will send people to help. It's a case of locating it. I think the main concern here is taking control of the ship and securing the ship from the people that are controlling it or anyone else nearby.
Okay. What are you guys thinking?
Okay, so so we've got our. I'm thinking that once we've got our infiltration set up, you can probably get us in. We've got like a small shuttlecraft, right? From the Scarlet Lady.
You don't, but you do have a dock-in. You do have a dock-in point on the actual Scarlet Lady, so you could dock to the outside of the Ghost of Mandalore and come in through the airlock.
Dangerous. I like it.
It's Star Wars.
Yeah. I think that's probably what we want to do. I'm guessing like if you can get to some place where you can provide cover for us and open the airlock.
Consider it done. I scramble outside of the cockpit. I think I'm mostly alone in this hangar bay.
Yes, you're totally alone.
And I'm making my way to where I think the duck and climb is.
Okay, so the people who are coming from the Scarlet Lady, who's flying? Okay, let me rephrase the question. Who has helm? That's an ability. Oh dear. Okay, so I would like you to make a quiet approach to the ship. The Ghost of Mandalore cuts off the engine. It rights itself, but it shuts off all its engines while it's figuring out what's going on. So while it's doing that, it's dead in the water. Sorry, it's dead in space. So you can have an approach. But the trick here is to actually not give away that you're coming in. So to do that, there's a few ways you can do it. You could potentially try and hack the enemy sensors to show that so they don't see you on the sensors. You could do a helm roll to try and actually come in, fly casually and come in quietly and actually click up to the docking port. There's a variety of different ways forward. How would you like to do it?
I can. I'll sort of rig up a we have like a fake transponder, but maybe like I rig something up that like will, I mean, not so much cloak, but will not ping our ship to the Ghost of Mandalore. So that's probably why we wanted like these distractions to be occurring on the ship, is to make sure like we need people not looking, but we can at least make sure that like they will not get another alert on top of whatever else. Nothing will draw their attention away from what they're doing.
Excellent. Okay, so what stat are you saying that uses? Is
Rig.
that a rig? Brilliant.
Yeah.
Can I assist that?
Yeah, by all means. How are you assisting? What are you doing?
I also have rig, so I think I might just two hands are better than one.
That's fine. You don't need any more explanation for that. I didn't know if there was something else you were setting up.
No, just using my rig as well.
Brilliant. Okay, so in that case, then Andy, can you take one stress? And Mike,
Yes.
can you roll rig with +1, please?
Yep. 5.
5. Okay. So I think what's happened here is you come in, you get close, but it's only a partial success. So it's literally that moment where you're locking on to the actual airlock itself and docking. There's a shudder runs through the ship, and they realize what's going on. At this point, you can resist that complication if you want.
Yeah, I'll resist that complication.
Okay. So what do you think you're resisting it with?
I guess it would be an insight type of thing.
Okay.
This is maybe like a rigging thing. So maybe I kind of picture me and Count Kel like just like knocking around. Maybe we realized something wasn't right about how we had rigged this system up while we're on the backside of this asteroid or whatever.
Okay.
So like we're like really quickly, we kind of are doing this rush job, right? And so I think like I noticed that's going on, and I'm like, oh shit, like it just like it's sputtering out or whatever the case is that's giving the notice to the Ghost of Mandalore. And so I just kind of look at the counter and I'm just like, you take the helm. I know neither of us are good at this, but you take it. I gotta rush back and like fix that shit.
Excellent. And is this sort of like the whole Fonzie thing of bang, bang, bang?
Yeah, and I think that's how it. Yeah.
So
Yep.
percussive maintenance,
Right.
always a winner. So can you roll your insight then, please? And it's 6. You take the amount of stress equal to 6 minus the result.
4, so I'm taking 2 stress.
Yes, and as you dock on, they are none the wiser. You are currently attached to the belly of this ship, and you're in the ship itself. What do people want to do? The airlock opens. Django's standing there in front of you.
I think that they've shut down their engines, so I think we go to the bridge. We find who's in charge here.
Okay, so you make your way to the bridge. Most of the engineering crew have all gone down to the engine room and are all working on the engines themselves. You go around the corners, you come up to corridors, and occasionally you'll see a bridge hand, but a deck hand, but they're involved in what they do. At one point, you come round to a corner and you walk smack bam into a deck hand, and there's that
That's perfect.
moment of eye to eye. And Murak goes, "Thank God. You got aboard okay?"
Yep. Great thanks to you.
Brilliant. What's the plan now?
The plan at this point is that we're taking things from here. You sit tight. Don't draw attention to yourself.
I can do that. I'll be in my bunk. And
We give this person a communicator of some sort so that we can keep them as a resource.
yeah, that's not a problem at all. We'll assume that she has one. So she disappears down. She points you in the direction of the bridge, and I think we'll have that moment that you're actually at the door to the bridge. You've got the main bridge in the room beyond, and you're at the actual blast door in front of it. What are people doing? Mike.
I want to.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry, Aaron, go on.
I was just gonna say I want to reach out with the force and see if there's anything in, or see how many people are in here, or who is in here.
Okay, so I'd like you to make an attune roll then, please.
Risky standard.
Risky standard.
As a 6.
Okay, so that there are 5 people on the other side. Well, 5 creatures on the other side.
I convey this information to my colleagues.
And they all seem on edge. They all seem like they're expecting the worst to happen. So what? So Mike, what's the plan going forward?
I don't know. I've got a detonator. We can blow this blast door up.
Okay, so can you mark off the detonator?
Yep.
And I would like you to me, that sounds like a scrap.
Sure, yeah.
That sounds like you're actually blowing something up. So yeah, it very much sounds like a scrap, unless you want to try it as a rig roll or something similar, or
It's the same for me either way. So yeah.
okay.
Perfect.
So
Perfectly fine. Anything else here?
I'm going to offer you a devil's bargain.
Oh, are you?
So you're using the detonator on the blast door.
Yeah.
The blast that comes from it will damage parts of the bridge. So you may not have functionality and be able to move the ship until that's repaired.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So in that case then, can you roll your scrap plus 1 dice?
5.
Okay. So you get a partial success there. So I think the people on the inside, they're on guard. They've been watching what's going on. I don't think you take them completely by surprise by blowing the door, because they're nervous, they're on edge, they're a little bit paranoid about being stuck out here in this asteroid field. So as a complication, they'll react quicker than you would have normally expected them to, and will have their weapons out by the time you come through the door.
So I think when that happens,
well, before we go on, do you want to resist that complication?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Nah.
All right. I'll save that stress. I've got 3 stress before I hit trauma. So.
Oh, then let's get you to hit trauma by the end of the session.
Yeah, I think that'll happen.
Okay.
Excellent. So in which case then, there's a huge explosion. There's a bright flash. The doors are blown in. There's smoke. There's noise. Klaxons sound all over the ships. Red flashing lights, spinning lights everywhere. And as you step through the door, you see one of the people inside has obviously been hit by the blast, but there are 4 people in there, all with their blasters pointing towards the blast door you came through. You see the Rhodian captain is out and is basically hiding behind his command chair that he's spun round to gain some cover. Halt! Put down your weapons!
And as I'm walking through the smoke, like there's this indistinct figure, I'm just going to put on this imposing voice and say, lower your weapons and no one gets hurt. Surrender now.
So to me, that sounds like a command roll. Is that
That's
what you're
what I'm
going
gunning for, yeah.
Oh, brilliant! Is anyone else assisting in this? Is anyone else looking intimidating? Are they flashing? Are they opening? Are they igniting their lightsaber or weapons drawn and basically just looking hulking? What are people doing? Is there anyone else assisting with this?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of like doing the like. I'm pretending to. Oh, so I'm gonna pretend that I am a crew member, and I'm just gonna be kind of like yelling like, "They've already killed half of us. I think we should just put down their weapons. They seem they let me free, but anyone who's resisted has been in big trouble. Let me tell you."
Okay, can you mark 1 stress?
Yeah.
And Andy, Count Cal, can you
All
gain
right.
+1 dice to that roll, please? And I think as things are here, this is actually a desperate roll
That's
because
fair.
this will result in a gunfight if not. So this is a desperate roll, and I would like you to roll with normal effect, please.
Okay. So let's see. And I think I want to spend a gambit here. We good with
Excellent.
that?
Are you doing that to up the effect or to gain additional dice?
To get an additional dice.
Okay. So can you roll the dice, please?
So that's +2. So I'm going to have a good devil's bargain here. If not, I'll just stick with the bonus dice as is.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll give you a devil's bargain. One of them is on the comms and is actually putting out an SOS call. So it's calling for assistance. And that call gets out. If you accept the bargain, that call gets away.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Let's just stack this. Dice don't betray me. Whew.
That'd be a 6 then, I take it.
Yes, that's a 6.
Okay. So in which case then, the call goes out, but as they're standing there, the captain lifts his blaster, stands up, and puts it on the ground. You've got us, but don't expect to keep us. Our friends will be here soon.
That's all right. I like friends.
So what are people doing? Django, we haven't heard much from you recently.
I think that the situation we're in now are the action here isn't taking over the ship. We have the ship. The action is going to be when reinforcements arrive.
That's correct.
It's sort of like a race to see whose reinforcements arrive first. And so I think that here I think Django is probably jumping back to Mike's plan, whose name is Durant, to man the ships, to try to get some of these ships some of the fighters operational and out so that we can ward things off.
Okay.
And I think that means locking these people up, getting our little buddy up here at the helm to control the ship.
Murat comes up, takes over control of the ship as much as they can because the helm controls have been fried. So, you each of you get down to a. Have you seen Star Wars Rebels or Clone Wars?
Just like an episode or two.
Okay, so basically the Gauntlet fighters are long, thin fighters, but the wings come off. They start like this, but they rotate around to actually be vertical. So it's like so they go from wings to being effectively large sails when they're in space. So the fins coming off top and bottom. So as you launch, you take it out of the fight. You open up the bay itself. The fighters are pretty much pristine. It looks like they've had some damage over time, but they've been repaired. They're in very good condition. You were able to. Sorry, go on.
But before we do that, is it in anybody's interest to try to fix the ship, to try to get the ship back up and running?
I don't know. I think I'm good just starting to get these things out, and then I don't know if we want this. We don't want whatever tracking this ship has. Like, we don't want to be stuck with that on our escape. Like, it's more about the loot than it is the vessel.
Okay.
Okay.
With that said, the hangar bay doors open. All the air has been sucked out, and the ships lift up on repulsor lifts and glide silently out into the dark of space. As you get out there, these ships, they're quite intuitive how to use them. The Mandalore are warrior people, and they design their equipment very well. These are very much warships. Are you all on separate ships, or these ships are basically counter troop transports as well? So you could have multiple people on the same ship if you wanted?
I think I'd take my own ship.
Yeah, I'll take my own ship, because I think the more ships that we got, the more firepower we've got too.
Excellent.
I feel like I've wound up on Duran's ship.
Excellent.
I kind of look back and I'm just like, Cal, what are you doing here?
Well, I wasn't going to fly my ship.
Excellent. So as you're out in space, you pick up a ping from an incoming craft. Only a single one, but it's hard to make out on the display. It seems to fade in and out from amongst the asteroids that are out there. It pings again and is getting closer. It pings again and it's coming into view. It's a single TIE fighter. Django, a familiar feeling fills you.
It's Blish, right?
It is not Blish.
Well, shit. I think I hit over comms. Stay in formation. It's Horrocks. Horrocks is here. And I think I'm just trying to flank him. Like, I think we're going to try to... At this point, she's feeling calm. She's feeling feisty. And she's going to try to do this by the book and take him out.
Okay. He opens the comlink. Rebels, stand down. You are hereby under arrest by the order of the New Order. Any attempt to flee will be treated to the utmost sanction. Surrender now or die. And he cuts the line at that point.
Jingo, as far as we can tell, there's one TIE fighter out there. I feel like we can handle this, right?
Don't underestimate him. Something's not right. Keep your eye on your flank, and let's do this nice and careful.
Sort of cut in my experience, when a man steps alone into a sea of sharks, he is the true shark.
And in that moment, the TIE fighter... Sorry, go on. I didn't realize... No, do what you're saying, Aaron. I didn't mean to speak over you.
I was just going to say, that's well said.
And the TIE fighter vanishes.
I freaking told you guys. And I think I start firing blindly in a spray pattern to try to
Okay, your turbo lasers, and these I'm going to say these are actually blue turbo lasers now, because green is for the red's for the rebels, green's for the Imperials. These are technically neutral ships, so we'll have them as blue turbo lasers. So they go and fill the air, fill the space. They impact with asteroids and blow bits off, and a torrent of fire comes down. But you don't seem to hit anything. Until all of a moment there's a flash and green turbo lasers reach out from something that you can't quite see. There's a blur there and skim past your shields. How are you actually doing this, Aaron? Are you rolling helm to try and use the ship weapons? Are you trying to force him out, trying to actually trick him into revealing himself? Is that a command thing? How are you actually doing this?
So I think the firing was just maybe just narrative, but I think as I am going to try to force him out, and I'll use the force for that. It seems like the thing here. I'm trying to find his mind and try to locate it in space.
Okay.
And then fire on that once I have that.
Okay. So you're trying to reach out with your mind. So you'll use that. I'm guessing that's going to be in a tune. Is that the case?
Yes, please.
Okay. And I think this is desperate. Because while you're doing that, he is very much trying to draw a bead on you and shoot into your fighter.
That sounds reasonable.
I'm also going to say it's standard effect.
Any devil's bargains?
Anyone?
I mean, is being swayed is like filling out more segments on the dark side clock a possible devil's bargain?
Yeah, it's definitely one. Would you gain 2 segments on your dark side clock?
Oh, hell yeah.
You let your rage at him fill you.
Oh yeah, that's happening.
Okay, so mark 2 segments and roll the dice.
I think that's a 6.
Oh, you pick him out. He's using the force to try and obscure himself from your vision, trying to hide himself. You cut through that with just pure force of rage. Everyone else, they can see this TIE fighter swing into view. There was nothing there a few moments ago. His shroud is just ripped apart. And you open fire on him. There's a flash, flash, flash as the shots hit him. And usually this TIE fighter's shielded. That's not on. TIE fighters don't have shields. Flash, flash, flash as more shots come in. Choo, choo, choo. And the shields shred. and a shot comes in and clips his wing. You notice one of the solar panels on the TIE fighter gets shown off, and smoke is venting from it. But he's still flying. The comms come back on. Ah, my apprentice. You've learned a few tricks since our time.
I don't respond to him. I get on the comms and I say, nail his ass to the wall.
Okay, so he is going for you. Are you actually maneuvering in such a way to make him a target for the others to destroy?
Yes, in the sense that like I'm playing a game of chicken with him, and I'm just gonna like keep him. I'm trying to position myself so that he's coming at me, so that they can see that flight plan and take him out. So using myself as bait.
Brilliant. Okay, so that would be an assist roll. That would be an assist to anyone else who actually wants to take a shot here.
Yeah, I want to rig the sensors to basically, because he went back into cloaking, right?
No, that the cloaking's
Oh,
gone. Basically, he was shrouding himself with the Force.
Ah, yeah.
He was hiding himself from your sensors.
Okay. I think I do want to set the ship up to get a lock on his ship. I want to just like rapid fire rig the sensors up, recalibrate them to this new position as established.
Okay, so can you make a rig and roll then? Jingo, if you want to spend 1 stress, that will give 1 additional dice to Andy. To Count Kel.
And what's the position here?
The position here, this is desperate. There's firefight going on, and I will offer you a devil's bargain.
Okay.
Jingo's placed themselves in harm's way to do this. So I'm going to say Horrocks can actually get some shots in, and we'll actually give a level 2 harm to Jingo.
I think that's a bridge too far.
Okay. They can try and resist it.
That's fair. But I think we'll keep Jingo safe for now.
Okay.
That's are you taking the stress for the assist? Okay. Great.
What did you get?
That's a 2.
Okay. So you set the scanners up, you reconfigure the scanners, you try and actually put in, but you put in, these are old, these may be top of the line from the time of the Clone Wars, but these are old ships. And as you touch wires together, and as you force more power into these scanners and into the systems themselves, there's a bright flash and a shower of sparks as you overload the scanning systems and the scanners go dead. You can resist that if you'd like.
Yeah, I want to resist this. Also, question on my subterfuge special ability. It's got 2 parts. One of them is about special armor for persuasion suspicion, and the other part is resisting with insight. Are those separate?
Those are separate, yes.
Okay, so that's like a blanket plus 1 die.
So that's
okay.
plus 1 die when you resist with insight.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to try and resist with insight, just noticing what's going wrong and trying to cut things short before it can really get bad.
Okay, so can you roll your insight plus 1 dice?
Yeah.
And the highest result And 6 minus the highest result is stress.
That's a 6. So
Oh, you're fine. You're on top of it. You see it going on. You reach in quickly and yank the additional power lead out. The systems that were frying, smoke was coming from them. They power down for a moment, then kick back up. But you've still got this this Imperial Inquisitor and a fighter, and he's closing in on Jingo. And Jingo's made herself a target, and he's lining up that shot. Mike, Duran, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, with the situation all set up here, I am going to just unleash Hellfire, I suppose.
Okay.
Whatever this ship has loaded in, I am like crunching those buttons.
Okay. Is that a helm roll or is that a scrap roll?
I feel like it's a scrap roll. This is completely focused on just like unloading weapons with a certain amount of effectiveness.
Okay. So fire everything. And again, Horrocks is concentrating on his former pupil. I'm going to offer the same devil bargain that I offered previously. That Horrocks will score a hit on Jingo's fighter.
Sure. I see Aaron nodding there.
So Jingo, you're going to take a level 2 harm, which you're going to be able to try and resist. So we'll do that after Mike's roll.
Okay. I'm assuming this is desperate.
This is desperate, yes.
Cool. Okay, so I'm adding that. I think I'm also going to spend a gambit,
Okay.
which I also generate a gambit on a desperate roll. So as my move, taking that. All right, and then was I getting an assist off on this? No, those were separate actions, right? Or
Aaron, are you offering it? Are you doing the same thing? You're making it so can you spend the 1 stress and yes, gain 1 dice? How many stress do you have left, Aaron?
I'm good. I only have 2 stress.
Okay.
all right, here we go. It's a lot of dice. 5.
You got a 5. Okay. So the shots come in and this is you're firing. The TIE fighter shields are down. There's that one perfect moment where the TIE fighter comes in. And you know when you see Vader fight in his TIE fighter, you've got that little display and you've got the craft running back and forth. There's that moment where it lines up. It goes red. There's a... The turbo lasers reach out. They strike Jingo's ship. And in that moment, you're there on the back. You fire. The TIE fighter explodes. Parts go everywhere. But parts go everywhere. And you're flying towards that. And some of those parts hit your ship. So the ship gets rocked. The ship gets thrown. The ship loses power.
Can I resist that?
You can resist that.
Yeah, so I've been like completely focused on just like hitting every button and switch that is a weapon. So maybe that's even partly the reason why this debris is coming and is about to hit. And yeah, I very quickly like jump back to switch back to the helm. And am just diving us out of
Okay. So in which case then I think that's going to be resisting with prowess.
So that's what I was shooting for. Why is it not popping up? Besides this. There we Oh, critical. Woo.
Okay, so it doesn't cost you any stress to do that. So you see this big chunk come in, and you turn the ship. So rather than actually being a smash and strike, it's a glancing blow instead. And you come out the other side of the debris and the explosion. Aaron, can you roll to as the last roll of the game? Because we are 5 minutes from time. Can you roll to resist that level 2 harm, please?
I mean, I'll take that harm.
Okay. So your ship gets hit. There's a bright flash of sparks into your face. You cry out in pain, but there's a dum, dum, as something lands at your feet. Your ship spirals out of control. You get thrown left and right round in the actual harness itself, and something hits you, and you grab it. It feels strange. It feels triangular, like a pyramid, but a three-sided. It's like a D4, effectively. And as you touch it, you hear whispered words. Yes, young Sith. How can I help you? And we zoom out to the actual cockpit, and we come back out, and you're holding a holocron. And we come out further, and etched with the tip of a lightsaber on the outside of your ship is the words, Night Brother. And we'll end the session there. So yes, Darth Maul ship. That was Ghosts of Mandalore. I'm still getting used to the system, so I'm sorry it wasn't quite as smooth as it should have been. But I hope it was an enjoyable session, and I'd really like to thank you for coming to play today. This is a real big leap for me. I'm running 3 sessions of a system I've never played before. Craziness, but I love Star Wars, and thank you for all playing. I hope, like I say, I hope you've had a good time. I'm going to stop the broadcast here.